Okay, so if you're trying to launch or expand your childcare business, what you do in the next 90 days is going to make all the difference. So, what I want to do in this video is I want to give you a roadmap as to what I need for you to be working on in the next 90 days if you are trying to launch or expand. Now, at the time of this recording, this video is being recorded in right at Q4 of 2025. But if you're watching this in 2026 or maybe it's not like a specific start of a quarter. It doesn't matter. I still want you to apply what I'm going to teach in this video, and I want you to apply it to the next 90 days that's coming up for you, whether you're trying to launch or expand. Okay. But before we do that, I do want to actually share with you where I've been. Honestly, the last time I posted a video here on this channel was in February of this year. And it wasn't it wasn't planned that I didn't post, but I will say this is that I actually have been deep in client work. I did get hired on for a few projects. Some have actually been outside of childcare, and then there has been some that's been inside the industry. And this actually has kind of pushed me into working just with business owners in general, right? So the things I teach here can apply to all sorts of types of businesses. And so anyway, it's been a lot of fun, but what I'm going to share with you is that in our industry right now, what I actually am seeing, and I'm looking at, if you see me kind of look down, I'm looking at my notes, but what I'm actually seeing a lot of people struggle with in general is just the fact of not just the launching or the expanding part, but they just are building businesses that don't give them the freedom that they, came into business for. So I know when I started my business, when I started my entrepreneur journey, I literally came in, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to build this thing, right? And it's going to give me back two things. It's going to give me back money and it's going to give me back time. And a lot of owners don't have that. And I didn't have that either until I started streamlining and putting in the systems and processes. So that is why I am so big on teaching you exactly the foundational pieces that you need to be able to set those things up so that you can have this amazing childcare business that you're proud of, that it's quality, that families, like you are the top of the town. You are the talk of the town. You are like, hey, everybody knows if you want quality childcare, you go to so-and-so, right? And so it's so important that you understand how to lay the foundations and do things in a step-by-step. So without further delay, let's hop directly in. So what I want to do first is, because depending on where you are, your roadmap for Q4 or the next upcoming 90 days is going to look different. So if you're launching, you're going to focus on one set of steps, but if you're expanding, you're going to focus on another set of steps. Now, I will say that those that are expanding, the steps that I do teach clients and work with clients on when I am working with them on launching are very similar, but there is one piece on the expansion part that I need for you to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk to my launchers right now. Okay, so give me about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to speak to you guys first, and then I will talk to you guys that are expanding. But if you're expanding, you need to just pay attention as well. Okay, because the stuff I'm telling the launchers is the stuff I'm going to be, you're going to have to do too. So the first thing that you have to do, if you are in the next 90 days, here's what I need for you to do. I need for you to make sure that you guys know, I'm going to sound like a broken record if you are regular around here, but you need to make sure that you know your numbers. Okay. You cannot go into a project of this size, okay, and not understand how much you're going to be charging, how much it is going to cost you for payroll expenses, how much is it going to be costing you to operate, what are your profit margins like, and what does the first 12 months in business look like for you? So I need for you to get seriously, because I know a lot of people get into the clouds, I call them. Okay. This is where I was too when I got started. So don't feel bad. But the clouds is the curriculum. It's the lesson planning. It's the website. That's where everybody wants to go to. And it's like, well, have you even sat down and counted the cost of how much this is going to cost you? Do you understand, right? Like what you're getting yourself into? because who I need for you to be is the investor, the CEO, like the numbers person. And that's where you got to be at before you even get started. So what I'm going to do is let me show you really quick. So I have a resource. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys resources that I have that's going to be able to help you get these things, taken care of. Okay. So the first resource, and I'm going to share my screen really quick, is going to be my launching resources. And so what I did was, hang on, I am rusty. And for some reason, I don't know why I'm out of breath today. But anyway, for some reason, I think it's just because I'm really excited to be back. So I think that's just what it is. Okay. But what I did was I actually went ahead and created this page for so that, like, if you are someone that is ready to launch your childcare business, this is where I want you to come to. And what I have down here on this page for you is I've got this video. You have got to watch the video. Now, this is going to show you this one here. It's called 31,000 monthly profits. Here's how. This is going to walk you through my 9-tab Excel budget workbook that I have all my clients go through. And it is going to show you, give you a little bit of behind the scenes of what that looks like. That video you're going to watch. You're going to also download, if you have not, you're going to download my step-by-step plan using my 29-page planner. And then here's some other free funding resources. And then there's some other things down below. But this is where I'm going to have you come, because the first thing, again, I have to have you do is I need for you to get your numbers right. Okay. Again, I mean, like, anybody that comes to me, any clients that work with me, that's the first thing that we do together. Okay. So, okay. So that's going to be for you guys that are launching. That's going to be the first step I need for you to do. And then the other piece that I'm going to have you to work on, is the location aspect of it as well. So I think that there is information on location here. So let's see, there's funding. You know what? Hang on. Cause I think I have a location resource. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. Okay, I am so proud of myself. So yes, I do actually have it, because I was like, I know I've done one on all the different frameworks that I teach. So if you are trying to find your location, then I'm going to send you to this resource page. In it, this is going to be searching this video. It is a little bit older, but this is a good video to watch if you're trying to find a location. This one, I love. It is like one of the best stories that still to date. This is one that's going to give you a lot of encouragement, but it basically is a client, and I do like a video with her, and she actually started looking for her location in like this month. It was a few years ago, in the month that I'm recording this video, which is October. And we secured a location. Actually, it was like in 3 weeks. Okay. Now, with that being said, that brings up a whole nother thing I want to share with you about location. But what I am going to share is that this actually is, and I'm going to get back on screen for a minute, and I don't know why it is doing that. Let me do it this way. But this actually is the best time to find a location. And the reason why is because, in the real estate market, a lot of these people that are owners that are trying to lease out their spaces or sell, they want to get some of this stuff wrapped up by the end of the year. So this is the perfect time to really be looking for motivated sellers or people that are leasing. And I will tell you, because I have actually been out, what I call in the field with clients looking for these locations. What I will tell you is that, unfortunately, there has been a lot of childcare businesses that they have not been able to survive. And there's a lot of turnkey options available and things like that. So that's the resource page I'm going to send you to if you are looking for a location, and that's the phase that you're in. But even at that, you still have to make sure that you do that budget, the budget. And also, which I forgot to mention with that budget, is that there's also let me get back over there. There's also a business plan, a template that I have. So I'm going to show you really quick. And that is on that, the other resource page. Let me get over there. It is the launch resources. Okay, so here. So so this one here, and if you scroll down, yes. Okay, this one here, you got to watch this video. Okay, I'm going to show you how to come up with a really nice business plan in under 15 minutes in that video there. And this one's really good about obtaining funding as well. So again, all this stuff is going to help you be able to, like I said, make the most out of the next 90 days and really make sure that you have a game plan. Now, let me make sure I go over my notes on everybody that's launching. But I feel like those two things is what I would have you to do right now. Okay. If you are launching, do your budget, make sure you know your numbers, access my business plan template, and then the information on the location should really kind of help you be able to get your focus within the next 9 days. And that's what you need to be doing. Those 3 things. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and put in a plug, and I'm going to do it again after we get finished here at the end as well. But if you are wanting to also, if you want personal support, okay, from myself, I am actually offering where I have a 3-tier mentorship program that I love. I've done a lot of different types of programs and things like that, but this one has been going so well. And so there will be information at the end or in the description box if you would love to have personal support from me. Right now, I am taking on some new clients. I do have a little bit of space right now in my calendar for some new doing some mentorship clients. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link down below for you to go in and check out. Okay. And typically what I'm going to ask you to do is you'll have a form to fill out. You'll have to apply to work with me. I just need to kind of know exactly where you're at. If you're specifically ready, and then, but I love this program that I'm running right now. It's really been, great. And the clients I'm working with are getting massive results because they get the access level that they get to me. So, okay, now let's move on to those of you who are expanding. So if you are expanding, here is the first thing that I need for you to do. Okay. This is the first thing that I would need from you to be able to tell you if you should be expanding, if you're not ready to expand. And that is, I would need to know what your profit margins currently are. Okay. So the resource that I have for you, it is called am I sharing my screen? Okay. But anyway, this one here, if you are ready to expand, this is where I need for you to go. So what you're going to find on this specific page here, it is my 11-minute video, and I need to know your profit margin. So there is actually there's a little template that you'll be able to access, and it will walk you through how to do that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull that up right now as well. So give me a second. Let's get that pulled up. This is like my favorite tool, especially for those that are expanding. But this basically is going to show you how to get your numbers, or this is kind of what you should. And I'm not for sure if it's actually included in the resource or not. So I'm just going to make sure it's thrown in there. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. Okay. So you're going to you need to know what your current revenue is right now. So what is your current revenue? You need to know what your current payroll is. And then you need to know what your current operating expenses are. And this is monthly. And then once you plug these numbers in, it's going to tell you what your current profit margin is. And then it's going to tell you what you should actually have in the bank. Because if you're profiting X amount of dollars or X amount percentage, then the money in the bank should be reflecting what your profit margins are. So now let's say that we have, let's say it's 50. Let's say this is, I don't know. We're going to say this is 53. Now watch what's going to happen to this. You see that? That's going to go in the red. That is not where I need anyone to be. If you are in the red, you're not ready to expand. What this literally points back to is that there's something going on with your systems, whether that's your marketing system or something. Usually it's going to be related to marketing, or it could be your accounting systems. but there's something going on that's causing you to not be profitable. And that's where we got to go in and fix first before we can actually go and expand. So this is, again, I'm going to have you come to, this page here and watch the video. And then it's going to walk you through how to get your profit margin formula. And I will make sure that's included here, okay? Because I don't see it here, but I'll make sure that it is. Okay. Now, the next thing for those of you that are expanding, but I am going to go ahead and give you access to, or share with you another resource that I have. And this is basically my hiring and enrollment resource. So I'm going to plop that here. This page, I kind of put them together because in my framework, so if you're not familiar with my framework, I have basically a 4-step framework. So it is budget, and it's your what is it? What is my framework? I use it every day. But it's going to be your budget and funding. Okay, that's the first thing, the first piece of the framework. Then we go into location and licensing, and then we'll go and teach clients and work with clients on their staffing and setting up that what I call the automated staffing process or system. And then we go into our automated marketing. So what I did for this resource page is just put the staffing enrollment on one, because you can't really have one without the other, right? If you get enrollment in, you're going to have your teachers and your staff. And then if you have staff, but you don't have the kids, then, that's going to be a problem. So I put that all in one page here. This video is a little bit older. I might actually change that out before I release the video I'm recording out to you. So you may or may not see that there. This one is a good one. So if you are struggling with your enrollment, and expanding is kind of one of those things that you're wanting to do, but you know for sure that you need to increase your enrollment, that's going to be a good one there to access. So, okay, now I feel like this is going to be everything. I feel like that if you were sitting down with me, right, we were having a one-on-one, and if you were launching, what I just shared with you is exactly what I am going to recommend for you to do if you're launching. Okay. Look at your numbers. Understand what they are. Let me tell you the things I've been seeing. Okay. So I know there is one in particular client that I'm thinking of right now. We are in the thick of it. We are looking at locations. We have had different options. So there's been so the one cool thing about what I love about her story is that we don't have an issue. There's not an issue of properties out there, right? The problem is finding the right one. Then you run into finding one that, looks to be great, but then there's like these red flags that are popping up. It's just, so what I'm going to share with you is that you have to know your numbers, because we're in a situation right now where the owner is really motivated. Okay. And the reasons they're motivated is out of this world, but they are motivated to get someone in there, and they specifically want it to be a childcare business. So with that being said, though, for us to be able to move very quickly, the money's got to be ready. Right. And so, so we're, just one of the, like I said, with this specific case here, we first went in, it's 100,000. Then, and this is to build out the space. Then it was 200. Now we're being told, you want to have 300K. So, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. Every situation is different, because I know somebody's going to ask me, how much do you really need to get started? And again, it's not so much of, that is a good question. It's not so much of how much do you need to get started, but it is looking at what you're trying to start, because I can't answer that for everybody. But if you show me your numbers, then I can tell you how much you need to get started. Okay. Because that's exactly what we do in that budget blueprint. Okay. So recapping, I'm going to put those links down below. If you're launching, I'm going to put the link down below for you to access the launch resources page. If you are expanding, I'm going to put the link down below for you to access the profit margins page, and then give me your profit margins. And there's a little button down there that's going to say, text me your profit margins, or whatever. And these go directly to me. Okay. That's a whole nother topic. Okay. But these go directly to me. So I see these that come in. And then I'm also going to throw in the staffing and enrollment resource page as well. Now, these are all free resources that I'm throwing off to you. Okay. Yes, there are courses. If you want to dive deeper, there are courses on every resource page that you can dive in and get the whole shebang. Okay. And then if you're like, no, I don't need a course, I need you, Ashley, to be guiding me, then you definitely, I'm going to leave the link down below for you to access the application page, and you're just going to fill out a form. Again, it's going to tell me exactly where you're at, and then it will let you know whether or not you qualify to work with me. And then it'll give you, if you do qualify, it's going to give you more information. If you don't, then it's going to direct you off to a resource that I have that fits what your needs are. So I feel like that's everything. I hope that this video, we're at 21 minutes. Okay, good. I felt like it was longer, but we're at 21 minutes. So I hope that you feel like you have a game plan now for the next 90 days. And what I'm going to say is that I know that this year has been very tough on just not, childcare, but just in business in general. So if you are, now I'm just going to talk to you as an entrepreneur. Okay. If you are an entrepreneur of any sorts or kind, this, even I have noticed, okay, this has been one of the toughest years to be in business. I feel like this has been, I don't know, COVID probably was, but this has been pretty tough. There's been a lot of things that's been shifting. But the one thing that has not changed that I've seen in these different projects I've been working with founders and CEOs is that the frameworks do not change. So the frameworks that everything I just went over with you right now, that is relevant. And it doesn't matter what's happening with, economics or politics or anything like that. The frameworks that I teach, they will carry through any of this stuff. And why is that? Because it's solid, because I did it, because I've helped other people do it, because it's step by step, because it's numbers do not lie. Okay. And yeah, that's just it. It works. It's a proven framework that if you really want to get from point A to point B, if you want to launch or expand, you follow these 4 simple frameworks that I have put together. And this is over 20 years being in this industry, 10 plus years now. I guess I'm going on. I think I'm at 10 years. I think I'll be rolling up on 11 years in March coming up, 2026. But going on 11 years, coaching and consulting in this industry, it is. But here's the thing I find. Here's what I've been finding as well, because I've been out in the field. What I am seeing is I'm seeing owners, CEOs, aspiring childcare owners. I am seeing people jumping around. Okay. What does that mean? Well, they're looking at locations and don't even know how much they can afford. They've got a website going and don't even have a location yet. Okay. They're concerned about licensing and what it's going to take to, get up and running. And they haven't looked at their numbers yet. Now, I understand there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, but every time that because I'm very customizable. So that's the one thing that you're going to find about me. I'm not a cookie cutter. Even though I have a framework, I'm not cookie cutter. If you come to me and you say, Ashley, here's where I'm at right now. Okay, good. We can start there if you want to start there. But it always comes back around to, you got to go get those numbers done. Okay. I'm sending one client right now. I'm like, listen, because this is that same situation I've been telling you about. This location, these owners are ready, right? And what is the definition of success is when preparedness meets opportunity. The opportunity is there, but we got to get really prepared, and we got to get prepared right now, right? And so I'm telling them, it's like, listen, you need to go talk to go down, go talk to your SBA loan officer. You got to get this blueprint, the budget thing, that my Excel that I have, the 9-tab template, which, yeah, it's inside that budget blueprint course. So if you do want access to that, it's inside of that. Again, go watch that video. I'll walk you through the 9 tabs. But it literally is what you're going to need to take to an SBA loan officer or anything like that, because again, they don't know how much money that you need, right? They don't know. But they can tell you how to get it if you know what you need. So anyway, without me going into ranting, what I'm going to tell you is that, again, I just see owners trying to bounce around. And then when you do it not in a step-by-step way, it kind of it can make it a little bit more messier than it has to be. Okay, let me just put it can make it more messier than it has to be. The other thing I do want to say is that this is a project, okay? So you trying to launch a childcare business, or you trying to expand a childcare business, this is a business project that you have to look at it in that way. And when there's projects, there is what's called project management. And when we're project managing, that means that there has to be a step-by-step, this has to get done, that and literally it does have to go in an order. Okay. Another project I was working on, we're building from the ground up. Okay. And I've seen the building from the ground up. Not a lot of people do that. It's not something that I even recommend a lot of, unless you're in a certain scenario situation. So even with that, from the ground up, okay, there's a process that you have to go through. They cannot start building and start putting up walls and 2x4s and framing something when you don't know your numbers. Okay. So anyway, I'm starting to rant, and that's all because it's been a while since I've been on here, but I'm glad to be back. Okay. Links are down below. Be sure that you also follow me over on the socials. Okay. Because if you're on Instagram and Facebook, I don't really post on Facebook anymore, but I am on Instagram. And so anyway, I'm going to leave all that stuff down below, but reach out to me. I am, be happy to help you in any way that I can. But yeah, this is your 90 day. This is what I want you to focus on. If you do have any questions, leave those in the comments, but this is it. So I really hope that you take heed to what I'm saying, that you slow yourself down and you really do this in a step-by-step manner. And I am very confident that if you take on what I have just provided to you in this little short 28 minutes, in the next 90 days, you will be somewhere, okay? You will be either in a location, closer look. You're going to have so much more information about this journey, and you're going to be knowing exactly what you need to be doing. It's going to lay out, because like I told my client the other day, I was like, the one thing about this journey is that the very next step that you need to take, if you don't take it, it won't lead you into the next step, because that's how this thing works, right? There is really so I know the framework. I know how the framework works. But what I will tell you is that because everybody's situation is unique and different, unless you take the step, you won't know if you're going to be able to get there or not, right? So I am, for anyone that's just been afraid to take the step, take it. I've given you all the information right now, right here. Okay. So all you've got to do is do what I've asked you to do. Okay. And launching or expanding your childcare business in the next 90 days is possible. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that. All right. Thank you for being here, and I look forward and seeing you on the next video.